Hello, hello. So I was talking about releasing resistance yesterday, and I love to continue that conversation. As I celebrate the publishing of my book, Living Your Intuitive Genius, I'm reading back some of the stories that I wrote. And one of them is about a friend of mine whose goal was to get pregnant. And she had been trying and trying for several years. And as she started trying all the medical procedures of IF and all of that, there were up and downs in terms of her journey. If whenever she thought she was pregnant, she would feel alive. She would feel excited. She would feel like this is really happening. And then she would get her menstrual cycle and then be disappointed again. So she started seeing how whatever she thought was happening was dictating how she was living her life. And I had the privilege of going and navigating that with her. As one time she made that observation, she said, yesterday I was on top of the world. I thought I was pregnant and everything was going so smooth on my business and my marriage and all of the transactions that I had with people yesterday, which is so awesome. And after I learned that I wasn't pregnant anymore, everything started going wrong. I started arguing with my husband. I noticed that my parents weren't very thrilled. It was just one thing after the other that I noticed something was going on wrong. And that awareness allowed her to realize that resisting the flow of life is what was happening with her. So, she and I spoke about that, and she says, my goal now is to just, with an open hand, have the hope, have these expectation, have the belief that because I want to be pregnant and so does my husband, that we're going to be parents. And that is not going to know, that's no longer going to dictate how I feel on a day in, day out basis. That's rigorous work right there, right? Because you're trying so hard to get something done and things are not happening as fast as you would like. So that's what releasing resistance is all about. Letting the flow of life come through, because there's always one thing happening, and that is infinite intelligence. Infinite intelligence, God, source, universe, whatever your name for that power that breathes you every morning is, that source always wants the highest good for you. And whatever your dreams are, whatever your goals are, whatever your aspirations are, your intention and putting your attention on that intention with the open hand of, okay, this is what I would love, but I am, at the time that source will bring it, right? You're open to it being part of your life as well as not being part of your life, because perhaps there's the higher something else that is there for you. Because remember, God always wants the best for you, right? So maybe there's something even better. So going back to my friend's story, as she released that resistance of wanting that something, just resisting the fact that she wasn't pregnant and just wanting it so badly and just releasing and letting go and letting God take care of it, she started having better results. And within 6 months after that, she became pregnant. And that's because, well, what was happening is she wasn't having that up and down mood of the circumstances dictating how she was feeling. She intentionally held that she was going to get pregnant, and she believed it and she expected it. And she knew that higher intelligence would take care of it. She didn't know when, but she knew it would happen. And holding on to that idea in a high vibration where she's happy and alive and grateful for everything that is happening and continuing to live her life the most joyous that she could, she was able then to attain her end result. And now the baby's, I believe she's almost 6 months, 6 months old. So it's something that I invite you to start experimenting with that. When you're looking for something to be the end result of what you want, and you're over here expecting it and wanting it and wishing it and praying for it and just holding it for it so tightly, you know, the chances of it coming are greatly are less, because you're holding to the energy so tightly. You're not allowing the flow of life to give you the ideas in order to make it happen. You're thinking there's only one way this will work. And by releasing it, what it does is it allows you to have, you know, better ideas on how to make it happen. Have the situation evolve, because there's a million and one ways that situations can happen. It doesn't just happen. It doesn't mean that it's just going to happen the way you think it's going to happen. But resistance and wanting it to happen in a certain way by a certain time, what you're doing is you're dictating the result, and you're not allowing spirit to co-create with you. You know, you have this vision of the thing that you want, and have spirit come and help you evolve it into being. So I hope that this serves you. You know, these conversations that I'm having on a daily basis, they're a lot of fun for me, because it's allowing me to reread my book and refresh myself on some of the stories that I told and some of the experiences that I've had, that make the book the instrument of learning how life works, and how the principles that I teach as a life coach can really benefit you as an individual in supporting the life that you would love as you navigate the experiences, the good and bad in life. So with that, I love you very much. And I am going on vacation tomorrow. So for the next week, you're going to be hearing from me in a different place, and there'll be a surprise. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.